pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, thank you for all being here tonight, and we're going to all support each other through this since this is a first. So, let me start with any committee discussions or directives or presentations for the evening. I see none.
No presentations.
No presentations. Any communications this evening? None. So moving right ahead to the superintendent's report. Mr. Bergeron.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention that today, again, Commissioner Jeff Riley came to Marlborough, and he came for the STEM week, so he was over at the Wickham School. And we're really thankful that he chose to come to Marlborough again. And I joked with him that we have a couple more buildings for him to visit, and we're sure by the end of June we can get him to all of them. And I just want to thank everybody who's had a hand in STEM week, from all the staff, the administration, all of our corporate partners, everyone who's just really worked hard to make this a special week for students. I've been getting unbelievably great feedback from everyone. And I had the pleasure of going into classrooms yesterday and today, learning all about dams, learning about gravity dams and all the different types of dams that they're working on in 5th grade. I heard they were doing some dissections in 8th grade. I did not stay for that piece. I was okay with that, letting the students handle that one. But it's just really fantastic to see that level of engagement with all of our students, and really want to say thank you to our staff for taking the chance on this and really doing something special. I do want to note that on Monday, October 29th, that there's going to be a showcase celebrating the students' work from 2:40 to 3:30. Students will be available to explain their projects and explain the work they've done all week. And then from 3:30 to 4:30, there's going to be a number of speakers from industry, former students, who are going to share their interests and professions in the STEM field, which is a fantastic way to cap that. So again, that's Monday, October 29th. From 2:40 to 3:30 will be students being able to show and explain their projects and work, and then from 3:30 to 4:30, they'll have speakers to discuss as well. So if there's any questions or you're looking at the schedule, just look at the Wickham website. There's additional information there. I just want to also say we've completed our district review. I wanted to thank any of the school committee members who participated in that. I know Mr. Walters told me before the meeting that he participated in a session. So I just want to thank everyone, especially Mary. She did an unbelievable amount of work on this. They asked, I can't even imagine how many documents, but it had to be close to 100, I think, when we were all said and done. And Mary, working with Donna, her office support member, really just making sure that this went really well. And at the end of the week, they can't really tell us too much, because what they're doing is they're putting together a written report. But one thing they said that I was especially proud of is how welcome they were. So that was great. So again, I want to thank everyone for their work on that. Obviously, we are really excited to get the information back. That's going to be about 3 months before we get the written report back. But however, they did visit 108 classrooms, so we're going to get that data back sooner about their findings and what they saw in the different classrooms. So that was good to hear. Additionally, in support of Goal 2, increasing the rigor and relevance of vocabulary for every student by adopting language objectives into our daily lesson planning, Michelle and Lynn trained our assistant principals on language objectives on October 11th in after school. I was actually part of that as well. I went to get a second serving of language objectives. And then at the leadership team meeting on October 18th last week, the principals shared out their experiences in their walkthroughs. So we're continuing to try to expand on this goal, and we're still working on trying to find what we believe is going to be our success criteria by the end of the year, something that we can measure to determine if we're having success in this area. On October 15th, 16th, and 17th, I met with staff at several schools as part of my entry plan. In addition, I'm opening a survey tool for any community member who could not meet with me. So I put the link there if you'd like to view it. Obviously, I'll be doing entry plan meetings, and I've already done some with school committee. But that survey tool is for anyone. It's for anyone in the community who wants to, provide me with feedback. So we're going to keep pushing that out over the next couple months as I'm collecting data for my entry plan. So I just want to thank everyone, because on all 3 days we had staff members stay after school and meet with me and share some of their opinions, thoughts, and goals for the year, and really gave me some great feedback. And I was very appreciative of that. So thank you.
So thank you very much, Superintendent. Anyone have any questions? Nope. Seeing none, we'll move on to Mr. Diaz's report.
Thank you, Ms. Hennessy. So in addition to the district review, the business office facilitated a couple of important audits in the past couple of weeks. The first one was the single audit, which is a comprehensive review of all city financials. The school portion of that audit this year focused on food services. We believe the audit went well. Obviously, we don't have the report yet. We also did a student activity accounts audit, which is supposed to happen every 3 years. I did sit with that auditor towards the end of his review. The feedback was really, really good. We don't have the report yet, but we think both audits went well. So obviously, if there's anything to report, I'll come back and report on that next meeting. Cafeteria balances over the last month jumped up fairly significantly. We currently stand at negative $3,600, which is up from about $1,400 during the same period last year. At least in part, the jump was due to about 300 kids who were participating in the program free or reduced last year, and they didn't apply yet for this year. We're able to carry last year's status up until the beginning of October, at which point they go into full paid lunch. So we're working with the food services department to get all of those families to reapply for this year. So that number is very important to me. I talk to Jenna, the food services director, frequently about it, and we're working on strategies to keep it manageable. Very happy to report that the bids for redistricting came in on Friday. We had 2 qualified bids that came in, 2 possible vendors. Over the next week or so, we'll be starting that important work. I'll have more on that on my next report in November. Okay, but we're very happy with the bids that came in. Finally, we're actively working on the FY20 projections. So this is go time for us. The goal, as always, is to develop a fiscally responsible and sustainable budget.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions relative to the report? No, I actually did have a question. So relative to the cafeteria balances, so just to clarify, you had said that you can carry folks through till the beginning of October, so from last year. Are we in a position where we can start reaching out to those families prior to getting to the end of that time frame? I'm just curious.
We always, so the applications are available early. We send it home on the first day packet, and we're constantly advertising the availability of the applications. So maybe next year we could have some additional efforts to advertise those the applications. My opinion, if I may give it, is that I think not all families realize that we have to reapply every single year.
That was actually what I was wondering as well.
Right. So that's something that we've struggled with. But again, we are reaching out to all those families now, and we have many of them have already reapplied. So this number should start getting more manageable.
Right. And to that exact point, that was what I was wondering, is maybe instead of just necessarily, because I know the packet because it's come home to my family, but I'm sure many people think if I've already applied, why am I going to reapply? Maybe that's actually where there is a very detailed communication, and by that, I guess I would say not very detailed, not so heavy that you don't want to read it, but something that's bullet pointed where you must reapply each year. Thank you so much. Please send this in. The sooner the better kind of thing, because unfortunately, I'm sure people think I've already entered in all of this. Wouldn't the school already have this information? So I think that'd be great. So hopefully we don't have this kind of situation next year.
Great.
So
thank you.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yeah, so I just want to point out at the high school, the cafeteria staff does a really good job of advertising that you do need to reapply. they have a sign on the computer when you go to buy lunch that says, if you are a free or reduced lunch student, you must go to see your housemaster, so you have to go up to your house office. And then they have the applications ready for you in English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
Oh, that's great.
And if you are on free or reduced lunch and they have to take you off of it, they do constantly remind you. They do say, your free lunch is going to end on this date. Please go to your house office and reapply. So they do a really fantastic job of making sure that everybody knows, all the students who are on free and reduced lunch. But I do agree that something going home and being like, you must reapply is a good idea.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Bergeron?
Can I just add one thing? If there's any families who, for whatever reason, don't feel comfortable sending that application through their school offices, that they can send it directly to Mr. Diaz, and he will take care of it from there. So that is something, if folks don't, for whatever reason, don't want to send that information through their school office, just know that you can send it directly to the finance office, to Mr. Diaz's attention, and he will take care of it personally.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions relative to any of the historical balances that were provided as well? We're all good? Okay, moving right along. So acceptance of the minutes. Any motions?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you. Courtesy second. Any comment or conversation? The only thing I guess I will bring up that Hennessy, which is crazy, is spelled correctly in the beginning, but throughout then has an EY in the end, so it's actually just a Y. So I know, kind of crazy, but yeah, exactly. If we can change that, probably would be good, because it sounds like two different people. So with that amendment, may we go ahead and move forward the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So, and any public participation? Public participation? Y'all good? Okay, we're all moving right along then, forward. So 9A, Memorandum of Understanding between the Marlborough School Committee and the cafeteria employees.
I guess I'll jump into this one. Usually Heidi does this as the chair of the negotiations subcommittee, but we have come to an agreement and we have a memorandum of understanding with the cafeteria employees, SEIU Local 888. Obviously, we're very pleased with the negotiations that we went through and thankful to them for coming to an agreement so quickly.
Great, thank you so much. Do I have a motion to formally accept this, although we did have a vote in executive session?
Sure. Motion to accept the memorandum of agreement between the Marlborough School Committee and cafeteria employees, SEIU 888, effective for school year or academic years 2018 through 2021.
Great, second?
20. Sorry.
Excuse me, 20.
Yep.
Yeah, 20, okay, so a second on that. All of those in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much. Vote carries, and thank you for the contract. Moving right along to FY19 operating budget transfers. Mr. Diaz.
Thank you. Just a couple of transfers for your consideration tonight. The first one is moving $4,200. That's us utilizing some efficiencies in the advertising and insurance lines to cover some overages in the district-wide contractual services lines. The second transfer request is for $34,000 being moved from our salary reserve line into Kane's instructional material and general supply lines due to the humidity issues we experienced in the summer. Just covering some supply costs.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve these transfers?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second. Any discussion? No. All of those in favor? Opposed? Carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any reports of school committees and subcommittees?
I have reviewed and signed the warrant in Heidi's absence.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
We haven't had a school building meeting in some time, but I just wanted to update that the filed sub-bids have come in, that the filed sub-bids are for the contractors who are doing things like HVAC, electrical, flooring, all those types of items. And then this week, tomorrow, the general contracting bids are going to be coming in. So we're going to quickly have some more information on the contract. So thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Report for Policy Subcommittee. We will be having a meeting coming up shortly. I have to actually gather a number of different dates to make sure that we have coordination with our schedules, and then we'll be moving forward. And that would be that. So moving right along, Members Forum. Anyone? Well, I guess I'll update that the Yakaruna folks have landed and they are on their way safely home. I did hear from Ms. Matthews, and they are coming back from Logan Airport, and sorry that they could not obviously make this meeting tonight, but it sounds like it was a very successful trip. And with our 20th year of running the program, I want to just say congratulations again for successful program and successful trip. So, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All of those in favor? Good night.